Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Austin here from Santa Fe Trail again to work with you guys on number 163, Country Gardens. This one is for this one is a part of your band karate for this week as well too. Let me share my screen real quick. Right now I'm showing you the clarinet music, but I'm showing you music to kind of demonstrate the different aspects of the song that we're going to focus in on, right? So first, let's talk about the articulation. On the slide that you look at earlier, I talk about there are 3 different articulations that you can find. Can you name them? Pause the video right now, see if you can name those articulations. All right, so hopefully you said accents, you said staccatos, and some of you might have struggled with the last one, it was slurs. Right, so you notice here in measure 4, we've got these slurred 8th notes, right? We've also got here dotted quarter note, 8th note, half note slurred together, right? So accent is right here. Remember, it emphasizes the note. Staccatos, we like to make those notes light and separated. Then, now that we've got those articulations down, let's take a look underneath the music here and take a look at these dynamics, right? So measure 1, mezzo piano. How I like to think about dynamics is I like to give them a percentages. So I say, try on a concert F right now, play the loudest note that you can play with good tone and with good embouchure. That note that you play at 100%, that is your maximum volume. That's what we call your 100%. Then from there, I like to give dynamics different percentages based off of that, right? So a forte isn't actually going to be 100% of your loudest sound. A forte is going to be 80% of your loudest sound. So it's still going to be really loud, but we're not going to be pushing the boundaries of, splitting eardrums. And then a mezzo piano here, I would put mezzo piano at about 40%. Right? I would put mezzo forte, MF at 60, and I would put piano at 20%, right? So using these percentages, we can find a good relative sound level to play our dynamics at. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play through this exercise for you, and then I'm going to give you some tips on making sure that you can get it to work. So Allegro is kind of fast. So I'll play it a little bit slower than Allegro. Bum, 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 bum. That's probably around 100, maybe a little bit faster. So a couple of things that we can run into issues here. Clarinets right here, F sharp, right? Where you've got this blue line here. Make sure that you're playing an F sharp here. And F sharp is going to be with that middle finger. In the Range Rover exercises, we haven't quite covered that yet, but you should be able to get that. Now, one of the tricky things here is starting on a high note on clarinet. And generally, young clarinet players, we tend to psych ourselves out. So we think a little bit too hard and we start squeezing the reed really tight. In order to get a high note to speak on the clarinet, you need a nice platform for the reed to sit on, right? So what we want to make sure we're doing is we're getting a nice flat chin. And then we're also making sure that our tongue is up in our mouth so we can get fast enough air over the reed. You might think that clarinet doesn't take a lot of air, but in order to play high notes, it needs a lot of fast air in order to get that reed to vibrate at the right frequency. If you're getting a different note, like you're getting a really squeaky sound like that, we're not putting our air in the right place. So, and we're not using enough air. So we're not putting our air in the right place and we're not using enough air. So part of the issue that happens is if our tongue is too low, let me make sure I can get this angled at you. If our tongue is too low compared to the reed, then what happens is we start blowing air straight at the reed. What we want to try to do is we want to get our tongue a little bit higher up so we can aim that air down into the reed a little bit. That's where we're going to get the best vibration, right? So if you're feeling a little bit of sound as you try to play, you're not using enough air and your tongue is really low. So what you want to do is you want to get that mouthpiece back in. You want to blow way more air and you want to get that tongue position up. Think about the letter T and how your sides of your tongue get up towards the roof of your mouth. So lots of air and get that tongue position in the right place if you're struggling with those notes. Otherwise, playing high on the clarinet, it takes a lot of air and it takes very little tongue movement. You want to be very precise with your tongue as you play. Continue to keep working. If you're getting squeaky sounds, or like what I just demonstrated to you, you're getting that airy sound coming out of your clarinet, it's not enough air and it's not the right tongue position. Get that tongue high, keep pushing air, and you should get those notes to speak just fine.